stream. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Harith Iskander, and welcome to What's Going On Malaysia. Episode number, I don't know, I think it's about number 5,624 or something. It's something as good as that. First of all, thank you very much for tuning in. We are live on my Facebook, we are live on my YouTube, and we are also live on the Joke Factory Facebook page. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in, everyone for logging on to this broadcast stream. And also, if I may ask, I would really appreciate it very, 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 very much if you could share this stream. If you could share this live right now with your friends, with your page, with your colleagues, and share with them and let them know that we are going to have a really interesting conversation tonight, and it's going to be interactive. I'm going to be talking to all of you. I can see you in the comments. Hi, Abraman Anas. Hi, one Earl Lee in Tropicana, PJ. One Earl, thank you very much. Listen, can you give me an old school ASL, age, sex, location? Don't need to give me your age. Just tell me where you are, where you're watching, and then that will give us an idea about the scope of the viewers who watch What's Going On Malaysia. Brenda Lee, keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Brenda. Truly appreciate it. Raymond Dylan, hello. Aber Ui, hello. Thank you, One Earl Lee, for sharing this. Guys, it's going to be a really good show. I just want to say something to get this out of the way. If you have been following my social media, you will know that our two-legged dog Marvella passed away, and it was a little bit shocking to us. If you have been following my social media on Harith Iskander, HARITHISKANDER, on Facebook or on Instagram or on Twitter, you will know about my two-legged dog Marvella. We got her over about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, and she was rescued by Nurul Ain Abdul Hamid, who has her own rescue set up, and she's a Malay lady, Malay Muslim, and she rescues not only cats, she's got hundreds of cats, but also dogs, and she's a wonderful, wonderful person. And she rescued this dog called Marvella, who had four legs at the time, but because it had been abused, the doctors, the vets, had to amputate the two front legs. And then one day my wife, over a year ago, saw Marvella in a Facebook or a Instagram post. We got in touch with the Nurul Ain. We went to see her and to see all the animals she was looking after and keeping. Marvella was in a very small space with a lot of other dogs, very, very scared dog at the time. And we said, listen, why don't we take Marvella? We've got a slightly bigger yard. She can run around, or she can hop around at least. And Nurul Ain, who loved Marvella very much, was very gracious enough to let us adopt Marvella, if you will. And she was with us, and she quickly became very confident and she's such a kind animal, such a kind creature, and very protective as well. If there were any strangers come to the house, she'd be pretty scary. Postmen are very scared of her, although she only had two hind legs, but very, very loving once she got to know you, and she was very friendly, always wagging her tail. And so we lost her, very, very, very recently, and it's a bit of a shock to the whole family because, we grew very attached to her. So, but I'm comforted by all the messages of comfort that you guys have sent on social media, both to my account and also to my wife's account. If you're not following my wife, please follow her on Dr. Jezamin Lim, Jezamine Lim. So thank you so much for all your wonderful, wonderful messages. But that's not what the topic of tonight is. But thank you so much. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has shown messages of support. Thank you, Mior Azhar, Mardiana from Seremban, 65 female. Aziza Ali from Singapore. Wow. On YouTube, Mardiana is on YouTube. Aziza's on Facebook. Ross Idris going to be another awesome session. Lee Son, hello from Nibong Tabal. We have got everybody from everywhere, so I do not want to keep you all waiting any longer because, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have an amazing episode. And just before we jump into this amazing episode, once again, may I remind you, please share this Facebook Live, this YouTube Live. Let's share it with as many people as possible and let us get into the conversation because the guest I have, I want to add him to the stream right now. I can see on my setup that he's not in the stream, but we will add him to the stream as soon as he's here. Chef Wan is on standby, and the guy is incredibly busy. Yeah, yeah. Let him know. Let him know. I'm going to get my assistant Anton to message him. Chef Wan is incredibly ready to get into the show, guys. In case you don't know Chef Wan, let's say you are from some planet on Mars ataupun Saturn ataupun up your own anus, Uranus. But bring, that's such a bad joke. And you don't know Chef Wan, let me tell you, Chef Wan is a legend. Dia begitu legendary. He is the person who is become the de facto head chef of Malaysia. He has been in the industry for over 30 years. Now, if you've ever seen him talk or perform anywhere, or not even perform, if you've been to his restaurant, D1, okay, I'm not going to say anymore. I'm going to bring Chef Wan to the screen, ladies and gentlemen. So please, wherever you are, clap your hands, wave them up in the air, come onto the stage.
So wonderful. I'm so now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
God, I look so old. I wish I don't have so much gray hair like you. Botak apa tak apa, Harith. How come I can't hear you? Tak dengar lah. I can't hear you.
Check. Does everybody can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Guys, I was just about to introduce Chef Wan, but you know what? I've never heard Chef Wan introduce himself. Chef, have you met anyone recently who doesn't know who you are?
Oh, yes. I mean, there are people because they come from planet Mars, Jupiter, kan? Mana? Of course, ada. I just because I am popular does not mean that everybody needs to know me. I mean, ada. Because sometimes some people, especially Chinese, I always notice because I think many of the even some younger Chinese as well, because they watch a lot of the Chinese program, Chinese show and all that, so they don't watch. I thought about, but then I always thought like, don't they ever read newspaper at least once in their life? Because I'm always in the paper pun kan. And then they look at me like, lu siapa? Lu siapa? Kan? Ini I go to the market also, Cina buta jual sayur tu pun, mata sepet-sepet, bukanlah 100% buta, like semi-blind already. Oh, lencai, kokeng. I went to what do you call that, Taipusam. One time I was filming in Taipusam, and all this Indian guy had his kavadi and all mouth pierce poking. And then when he was going all well, with a huge kavadi, he saw me in front, and then he was like shocked, and the minute dia nampak mata buka, and he was like, okay. Some Indian lady got excited. They even refer to me as, oh, you're the rice cooker.
The rice
cooker. Oh, panggil aku rice cooker.
Chef, I just want to tell you something that a lot of my followers who are Chinese are saying, I'm Chinese and I know who Chef Wan is for decades. Cheng Mun Wai. Chef. Siapa tak kenal?
I know, but then that's some of my experience lah, But never mind lah, kenal tak kenal pun, I've been here for the longest time. Now what, even my interview career pun dah approaching to 30 years now, dekat 30 tahun dah. So, and I'm also kata, as you can see now, I'm decaying slowly, mereput ni, and wilting away, Melayu as well, orang kata.
Well, you may kata that you are wilting away dari segi rambut ke apa, but I can tell from your presence on social media and from your comments, you are definitely not wilting away. In fact, uh, I just want to say something to everybody out there. If you are not following Chef Wan on Instagram, please follow him at underscore Chef Wan, right? 58, is it? Underscore Chef Wan. You
58.
you Chef One Instagrams and Facebook like the way he talks. Maksudnya, his Instagram post could be a karangan. Each post is a karangan. Do you? I'm not even joking. I counted once. It's almost 5,000 words per post. Karangan
Yeah.
SPM Pangkala.
Yeah, and then everyone was asking, how do you do it? I
Yeah.
don't know. Cakap pun laju, tulis pun laju, buat kerja pun laju. I guess I'm just orang kata Mr. Speedy Gonzales dekat ya. Always rushing around, moving. Chef
You are
Wan, I bought your books. Oh,
remind.
thank you, hadiah to Kenny G. Thank you. Grace Tan.
Oh, so Grace Tan bought a book to hadiahkan kat Kenny G when he was here for a concert. Oh, he bought a
Wow,
chef book and
how
gave it.
nice.
How sweet of you,
Yeah.
Grace Tan.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so
thank you.
so many people are excited to watch you on the show. You know, Chef, I just want to talk
Yeah.
about this. The last time we met and we spoke about this, do you know, was actually July 15, 2019, when you came
Oh my goodness.
and you were a guest on my show officially, Harith Iskander, almost 2 years ago. Can you
Wow, how
imagine?
time flies, huh?
Time flies, and I want to show a clip from that experience. Now, this was live at the Joke Factory. That clip. Every day that I've met him,
Ay.
anytime that I've met you, you have an unexplainable amount of energy and it's non-stop. I mean, seriously, if- I want to know, where does that come from?
Don't know lah. I forgot.
Ada apa-apa? Is there special? Ambil pil-pil ke inject
Tapi
inject ke?
even
Here we go.
before.
Here we go.
Don't shy lah. Mentang-mentang kata gemuk dia pun buat malu-malu makan dia. Dah kenyang. How come she bring to you dah kenyang? Actually, dari sekolah, before when I was in school, I've always been known in school as a person with tremendous energy. Everywhere I work around the world, whether I'm a chef on the cruise ship, on the Viking, and from Alaska to the Caribbean, I was at various hotels in San Francisco, and I lived in America for 14 years. And even being an accountant also, after coming back, a whole day's job kan. Here I am, taking my motorbike, Honda C70, going to all the different homes, selling Avon lah, Amway lah, Tupperware lah, semua, anything to make money lah. So kan, that's what it is. I've always been a person who was self-motivated, self-driven, anything lah I would do. Yang tak jadi pelacur je belum lagi. I'm telling you lah. Why not? Because it's an older profession, You don't have to do anything. You just need to lie down, kangkang aja kan. And then get all the pleasure in the world when you can get lah. But if you cannot get, you give lah. So that's why I don't.
Okay. So that was 2 years ago. I remember it like it was yesterday.
And I remember that night, I didn't even given you a chance. I mean, you have so many questions. In the end, Harith only could ask me, I think, only a few questions. And there I was doing my own stand-up comedy. It was
But it was an absolute amazing night. In fact, I see that there were many people who are watching the show tonight who happened to be there.
actually kind of is. I always think like, even in all the talk show that I go in kan, and a lot of time also, many of them were invited me. I mean, they love, what I had to share and my opinion and all that. But also, it was terribly difficult for the host, especially because they want to come in and nak masuk, and then there I am, going on and on and on and on, and then I forget that, that I'm not hosting the show. No wonder I cannot never get a talk show on my own, because I'd probably be the only one who talks and nobody else.
Yeah, but it would be a most absolute pleasure just to listen to you. All right, Chef.
Yes.
To this, let me tell you that what's going on in Malaysia. We've had a lot of people talking about a lot of controversial topics. The mood of the nation, as you know, I don't know whether you are feeling it. The mood of the nation at the moment agak low sikit, and who's to blame us? We have been 16 months into this lockdown pandemics. We are in MCO 3 or 4 or 5. I pun dah lupa count. And you yourself are probably feeling as much a pinch as anybody. You have restaurants, you have businesses, you have staff, you are running a whole industry, which you need to take care of. And I know you are very passionate about
Yeah.
your industry. How is the okay? Let's start off with this. How has the pandemic, the last 16 months, affected you personally?
Awful. I mean, career-wise, everything seems to shut down. In the last couple of years, there's no any TV cook shows, offer. Even my Go Shop recently also pun kata they had to stop because sales were also very poor. And it's just affecting everything. Even our restaurant, can you imagine kita ada 3 restaurant and 1 central kitchen? It has to be closed. It has to be closed. In fact, we closed the one in Bangi because there's very little kata home delivery to justify operating the place, and then of course also kita tutup apa ni, what they call that, cafe Chef Wan. And so now it's only the link yang buka yang kita buat home delivery lah yang boleh harap. So, but other than that, can you imagine by end of this month kan Harith, I think we're gonna lose bayar sewa, I think about 120,000 among all the restaurant, and then of course staff salary alone is 300,000. I think we will lose about 400,000 just like that. Can you imagine? That's a lot of money to lose kan, 400,000 just like that a month. That's a month. So we keep closing like that, I mean, we will not have any more cash reserve, because we have cash reserve orang kata 3 bulan 4 bulan gitu the most, but at the rate it's getting is just ridiculous. Yeah. And susah to plan all this operation yang kita nak buat. I mean, nak buka Penang, Melaka, we have all this expansion to do in Taman Tun and here and there, that even benda tu semua kata we had to delay them lah, and postpone them because of all this situation, but I think the whole thing, this buka tutup thing, is such a headache for everybody, because it seems that just like a lot of our people out there also think that the government kemungkinan tak berbincang dengan benda tu betul-betul di parlimen, to discuss, so that you have more people going to discuss.
Parlimen tak buka, tak boleh bincang.
Itulah. Yeah, that's the crazy thing, I mean, kalau parlimen tak buka, macam mana nak buat kerja kan? I mean, kita tak boleh harap 2-3 kepala je untuk fikir, sedangkan the whole country is represented by the whole of orang kata the parliament tu lah. So that one kita tak payah cakap lah kan. So that's why when I look at the whole thing, so you have a couple of people making decision like that, and the decision are not, obviously is not good enough kan, and so you find all these buka tutup, and still people, when the time when they had all these, people were walking everywhere, balik kampung, benda apa semua, like all these ridiculous thing that's going on, and now we are facing, exactly what we are facing now lah. So in the end juga, so when you look at all this, yang menyusahkan juga is kita lah, because you fall back to kita, especially orang yang menyaga, orang yang makan gaji bulan-bulan tu dah tentu dapat gaji lah. Tapi what about yang kita yang menyaga ni kan? So kesian, yang lebih kesian ni ialah orang menyaga-menyaga di pasar malam tu, orang yang susah, yang doesn't make a lot of money kan, masa cukup makan untuk hari-hari saja, keuntungan tu jual kuih ke jual apa ke, and kesian sangat, because they have, macam kita ni kira okay lah, because we are big business, and then kita punya capital pun besar, kita pun kita punya kata simpanan kita, cash reserve kita pun kira agak okay juga, because we're doing well, that. But I really sympathize. But even people yang macam kita yang do well as well pun will not do well after all, if this is going to go on and on. We'll probably have to close shop.
I hear you very, very loud and clear. This is the topic we've been talking about on what's going on in Malaysia for the last 3 or 4 months. Guys, if you're watching, please remember to share this Facebook post. I know Chef Wan's got a lot to say about this, but you're absolutely correct, Chef. And this is my feeling,
Yeah.
which I probably think that you can see it happening, because everyone is feeling down and lower, and the economic pressures are happening, and everyone is falling from the M40 falling into the B40, and the B40 falling into whatever categories below
It's
that.
worse.
The tekanan on social being for me has I think it's beginning to flare up, specifically, and I think we want to talk about this in terms of racism. The more people dementia, people feel mentally, people feel physically, people feel in terms of money, in terms of economically. I'm sure the other gejala-gejala lah, macam racism will start to, although it exists, and let's admit it, it exists already, but it definitely seems to be getting worse in my experience. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. Hello. Hello. Just a second. Hello to Datuk Sri Wong Chung Wai there. Thank you for coming. Ni kita punya very respectable CEO of the Star, and why I love the paper as well for the longest years, because they are just like so truthful and just everything out in the open, and then black is black and white is white. You see everything, and thank you for that, for doing that for the country. Now going back tadi seperti Wan cakap tadi, I'm not a politician, but I'm just like anybody out there, kita ni bila kita manusia yang jujur, when we are very trustworthy, honest, we work hard just like anybody, to bring back food to the table, and just not us, I mean, for me, for the longest years, I've been sacrificing, burning midnight candle, not just at home or wherever I work, television or wherever I travel. It's always something that I'm trying to do to perform what I think is best for my country. And then in return, like holding, my role as food ambassador of the country, kan? It's not an easy job, And of course, with all that, I sacrifice a lot, for the country, to make sure that the people know what Malaysian cuisine is all about, the country, and blah blah blah. And so many years of that work go down to the drain, just like anybody as well yang work so hard, tak kira lah, in any profession, whether you are in the media ke, whether you're doctors ke, lawyers ke, whether you're in the bank ke, siapa saja yang berkorban, yang sacrifice, and you can ask anybody if mereka tak rasa kecewa dengan negara ini, I mean, people don't like us to talk about politics. Konon politik tu very touchy. Even malam ni, I want to go in pun orang kata, oh Chef Wan, you better be careful your mouth to talk about the politics and all that. And I say, why? Orang politik ni so untouchable ke? Tak boleh cakap ke kan? Bila kita cakap aja dulu, jadi macam isu besar. I'm sure many of you tahu dari awal dulu, when even case-case yang keluar pasal Najib, pasal apa semua, macam marah pasal Felda and all that. Of course I have the right, kan? Because I am just like any citizen out there. I work very hard in the Felda. I'm raised as a Felda boy, and all those years of 30 over years that kita slave down there, and all that, and suddenly everything went down the drain. Siapa tak marah, kan? So that's why the way the country is run even today is such a mess. It's such a mess, and I think, Harith, I feel, when you give one race the authority of power, orang katakan, and sedangkan negara ni orang kata is orang kata is comprises of multiracial thing, it's dangerous. It's bahaya, because like you say lah, bila tak ada orang kata opposition, that's why they are called opposition, because they are there to make sure that everything is exposed. Benda yang tak buat betul disoal dalam parlimen dengan benda apa sekali, so that they also represent us. Let's not forget, they represent both sides. That's why kita perlukan benda tu, why parliament needs to move on. Macam mana boleh tutup with all this darurat and all that. So that's why I never understood, because of this jadikan reason. So that's why kita tengok sangat kelang kabut these few years where Malaysia is, with perebutan, party politics and stuff and all that. And of course, don't mention about corruption lah, because just few days ago, a corporate friend of mine said with me, and then dia cakap, do you know that Malaysia is the number one now in the world, in for corruption? I'm like, oh really? I kata, I was shocked. We are now on number one as known in the world as country are most corrupted. And how embarrassing is that? Yeah, and so that's why it's shameful. It's shameful because you know what? All the years yang every one of us contribute hari ni, macam jadi macam sampah, go down the drain, terbuang. So macam mana rakyat tak sakit hati? Macam mana rakyat tak happy about all this, kan? Because kita, like I say lah, and a lot of this also come out, like you say, of course people are upset because when they see. So I'm not saying that the Chinese or the Indian tak corrupted. I'm not saying they are not bad, kan? Orang kata kalau orang buruk ni tak kira apa bangsa lah ya, tak semestinya Melayu kan, nak corruption ni Melayu pun ramai Melayu. Tapi it just so happen that apa yang keluar of lately ni, kita tengok yang dibentangkan, it's terrible, because you know why? And here we are dwindling around, orang yang bersalah pun sampai hari ni pun tak dapat nak masuk jail lagi. Ya, bertahun-tahun tunggu bila dia mampus. I don't understand that. Kan, orang what they call that, curi susu anak boleh masuk sampai berbulan-bulan dalam. It's so ridiculous. So when you look about this, like, why is that so difficult to really, when we have all that? So that's why as time goes by, people are not stupid, with social media, everything people share and all that is out in the open, and it's totally embarrassing. So that's why, I feel, a lot of all this racism problem memang also crop, because why? Because the Chinese are not happy with the Malay, and the Malay are not happy with the Chinese. Of course, bila dia kata, engkau kata, yelah kan, habis kalau kau kita buat perangai tak elok, kalau buat tak senonoh, menipu, mencuri and all that, and imagine so many people work hard for this honest money, and what do we do? Kita buat kerja ni bukan apa, untuk masa depan anak-anak kita, anak you, anak I, cucu I, it's for the future generation. Kita ni dah tua, besok tak jalan keluar pada kursi, jatuh mampui pun tak tahu bila nak gonna go, but kita dah buat kerja, tapi but we want to make sure that what is left, yang kita tinggal behind is something yang kita feel very proud. But how can we feel proud with all that shit that's going on out there every day? Is so embarrassing. From the government servant dalam tu, daripada macam-macam lah yang tangkap immigration, police, apa yang corruptionnya apa, one after another. In the corporate body, and it's like every left and right yang kita kerja hari ni semua dicuri. It's stolen. And we sat down there like, hello, like what is wrong with this country?
Chef, I'm not surprised you're feeling this way. And to anybody who's never seen Chef Wan speak,
I have to feel this. I have to feel this way because all those almost 30 years, I represent the country as a food ambassador of the country with Maltrade. I go to all the world big expo. Saya berdiri atas kaki, masak daripada pagi sampai petang, Harith. Berdiri depan beratus-ratus orang, bawa food company and all that. Pagi-pagi buta pukul 5, pukul 6 dah pergi pasar beli barang. Dengan tak ada bajet, tak cukup orang apa semua, saya terpaksa bekerja, berdiri, balik hotel kadang-kadang sampai tengah malam, sampai tak larat, kadang-kadang rendam kaki dalam pail tu. Saya ingat dekat Germany tu kan, sampai sedar tengok dah pukul 5 pagi, daripada pukul 11 malam saya rendam kaki dalam sebab penat sangat berdiri, tautkan air panas, tautkan ubat, and I fell asleep sitting on the chair with my leg inside the pail. And I never forget that, how hard I work, for this country. So don't tell me yang I have no right to talk about politics. I have no right untuk ni, kan. Memanglah kita tak ni, but then, everyone is not happy, kan, because what I don't understand, we all, negara demokrasi, kita ni pergi mengundi, we fight for the country cara betul and all that, and then suddenly, kita dah rasa kita boleh nak letak country in the right track, and then look what happened, kan. It's terrible. So in the end, we look at it like, what's the point of having all this election? What's the point, kan? And sedangkan orang yang kita harap daripada atas sampai ke bawah, sampai ke atas lah pun, is not helping us. So left and right. So that's why I think, this country, we don't change ni sikap attitude, from politician, from who's holding power and this and all that. It's going to be a really a disaster for this country, because why this country cannot go this way anymore. Because what I don't understand, kan, like people, in those days, when we vote for somebody, kita vote orang yang ada otak, orang yang ada pelajaran, orang yang ada pengalaman, orang yang ni. Tapi hari ni kita tengok, ramai pula, especially orang Melayu, kita boleh vote orang-orang yang, tengoklah jenis politician yang kita dapat tu. It's shameful, memalukan, and so that's why when you look at it, I said, how kita tepuk kepala kita lah, macam mana datang manusia-manusia macam ni yang can go into politics, kan. Sedangkan politik ni kata, you represent the country, kan, you represent the people, and you need people yang ada otak, yang people yang sayangkan rakyat, bukan untuk diri sendiri, bukan untuk kocek dia orang sendiri, kan. Nowadays you tengok, that's why keluar semualah, kita tengok now Instagram nampak segala-gala lah, all the anak-anak menteri yang jolly, yang travel. Sekarang tak berani dah kau tengok kat Instagram, kalau keluar lah dia orang nak cerita pasal bag dia ke travel dia, tak lagi dah. Takut pula, kan. Sebab apa? Sekarang everything dah open, kan. Tu dia, tak berani dah. Kalau dulu macam-macam semua keluar lah, kan. Kaya sampai 7 keturunan. Apa cerita tu? Yeah. So that's why it's disgusting, like, to the point where even for me, when I look back and all that, I said, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed to tell people, that hari ni that I'm Malaysian, because the way and now is worse, because we are now the number one corrupted country.
Okay, wait,
You
hold
go
on.
back to the
Hold on, Chef. Okay, so this I just want to clarify something because I don't want you, my very good friend, to get into too much trouble. So the statement that you just gave, number one, corrupt the country, came from a friend of yours. However, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with that statement, but kita belum check the source lagi lah. But I
of
agree with
course.
you. The fact that Malaysia now, let me give you a small example. Okay, in
Mm,
2016-17, I had a talk show on Astro Awani that was called obviously Harith Iskander, and my guest was Tun Musa Hitam, our first deputy prime minister under Tun Mahathir Mohamad, back from the 80s and 90s, and he told me the story that, much like what you are talking about, Chef Wan. Dulu dekat Malaysia in the 70s, kita used to look at, this is Tun Musa Hitam's words, we would look at
mm,
countries like Philippines or Indonesia and Burma, and we would laugh because, oh, they are so corrupted. Their houses got to have gates and guarded. The politicians got to go around with bodyguards. They're so corrupted. We would laugh and look down at them in the 70s and 80s. Padahal in Malaysia, and let's be honest, I'm just stating facts here. We
mm.
are surrounded with gated and guarded communities, and we are now, whether factually or not, we are persepsi tu kita berada dalam golongan, kalau bukan nombor satu, most top 10 corrupted in the world. Hanya perception. I'm not saying it's real. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's a fact. But the fact that it is the perception is alarming and is
Yes.
scary. And I agree with you. I feel your anger, Chef. Because,
Yeah.
guys, let me tell you something about Chef Wan. Bila dia bekerja, dia memang bekerja. Bila dia cakap dia bangun pukul 4 pagi, dia bekerja pukul 5 pagi sampai pukul 12 malam, pukul 2 pagi. He is not joking. This is one of the hardest working men I know in any industry. And he does everything himself, from peeling the prawns right up to looking after Datin and Dato Sri and Tuns who are in the restaurant himself. Um, so yes, when you feel that you've been working for 30 years representing the country at Chef Wan, you have been all over the world representing Malaysia as the official food ambassador of Malaysia. No, I'm not surprised that you are feeling sad and angry at the state of the perception of what Malaysia has become. So
Mm.
people are saying in the comments, wow, Chef Wan is speaking his mind. I've never heard him speak like this. Guys, one thing I would give Chef Wan, he does speak his mind. I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but you got to give it to him. He speaks his mind, and I respect that very much, Chef. And I know you're very angry as well. Okay, can we take 2 minutes to, because I know you're very angry about a lot of things, and a lot of Malaysians are, including myself. But what are the good things, the good people you have met, the good? Have you had a vaccination, by the way? So the
Yeah,
vaccination.
yeah, I had my vaccination. I'm waiting for my second one.
Okay, you
I
had the
did, yeah. I had
Pfizer
AstraZeneca.
dekat PWTC.
No, I had at Bangi. What do you call that? UPM Bangi.
Okay, I don't
And
know
UKM Bangi, yeah?
the experience I had having the vaccination. All the civil servants, the railer, the volunteers. It was really for me. I could see everybody memang bekerja keras. I bumped into Tan Sri Jamilah there, and I could see, that everybody was really working hard, and the people who are focused and working really wanted this program, this vaccination, to really work, and they were doing an amazing job for me lah.
Of course,
So
yeah, for me pun. Yeah, for me too. And I saw everything, went really well and smooth and all that. And alhamdulillah, and I also don't have any so-called any side effect at all, from the day I got the jab. So I also was thinking, ni dia orang cucuk air ke atau apa, because tak ada rasa apa pun. So I was waiting balik, letak pendor sebelah, kalau ada pening ke rasa apa, tak ada pening, tak ada sakit, tak ada urat apa, joint pain tak ada. The next morning I got up and just work. So maybe I got such thick skin lah, kan. So that's the thing. Nasib baik lah orang kata, needle tak patah. Now, going back to the question just now, you were saying, have I met nice? I didn't get that.
no,
You were saying that,
because what I do like to focus on this program as well is, I know we are a lot of us are upset, a lot of angry about the powers that be, about the people who are in control or whatever situation. But I know for a fact there are many good people lah on that side of the fence yang memang want to make a difference. Yang memang, and I'm talking about the civil servants, I'm talking about certain politicians who really, 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 as much as you and me love Malaysia, they really want to make a difference. Now, we're not going to change anything in a day. For me, I feel racism is really at a very high level, an almost dangerous level. But I just want to take to acknowledge the good people as well. I'm sure you have
Okay,
met
now,
good people.
I
as well.
also want to mention about for the longest time, I want to bring back this thing lah, before anyone think about, sometimes, nak kutuk bangsa asing ke, tak kira lah, Cina kata Melayu ke, Melayu kata Cina ke, benda apa, especially macam all this hak Melayu, hak, I cannot really tahan, I cannot stand it. I find that so disgusting because, for me, everyone that is in this country, as long as we are called ourselves Malaysian, we need to be respected. Tak usah kata orang luar. Even immigrant, tak kira orang gaji kita ke Bangladesh, orang yang jadi kemas rumah kita sapu tepi jalan tu pun I bagi duit raya. Kan? Because why? Because why? They came all the way, they work hard, even my own mate nak balik, I bagi 2 bulan bonus. I bagi 2 bulan bonus gajinya because why? Kerana mikirkan, pengorbanan dia, that, walaupun kerja dia tak bagus mana pun, saya kata tutup sebelah mata, tak apalah, sedekah je lah. This kind of thing kan. Kenapa kita ingatkan dia nak balik ke negeri dia, orang susah, that apa semua. So, sikap rakyat Malaysia kena fikir, kita kadang-kadang ni bila time kita marah, kita ikut-ikut, bila orang racist, orang katanya, kita pun ingat benda macam ni, tapi kita kadang-kadang kena fikir tau, jasa-jasa manusia. For example lah, dia orang dalam cakap ni tak fikir ke cikgu sekolah Cina yang ajar di bahasa Malaysia, yang ajar bahasa Inggeris, ajar matematik, cikgu yang ajar geografi mereka, what about university pula yang tutor mereka, what about even when you look back, satu ketika lu doktor yang mereka pergi juga masa kecil pun, doktor Cina, doktor India, pergi klinik yang kata yang ubatkan dia orang ni tak fikir, yang even dia orang keluar celah kelangkang mak dia tu, keluar celah kelangkang mak dia tu pun doktor Cina, doktor India sambut, dia tak terfikir ke? Kalau tidak dah mampus dalam rahim dia tak keluar kan. So that's why kadang-kadang bila kita nak ingat benda ni tak terfikir ke jasa-jasa manusia ni kan, and how can kita dengan senang, tak kira lah apa bangsa ni, bila time kita nak bergaduh ni, kita guna benda-benda macam ni yang menyakiti hati orang ni, sedangkan kita tak fikir ke, bila kita besok pergi kerja, okey kita tu, bos kita tu Cina, dia jugalah yang bagi kita gaji, bagi kita increment, naik recommend kita benda semua kan. All of that lah. So that's why I always kadang-kadang tak faham tau. Tambahan lagi kadang-kadang bila orang Melayu dipikir macam kita ni orang Melayu, lebih baik, lebih supreme and all that. Like, hello, some of them kan bila pergi haji tu, bila kita tawaf, pergi umrah ke, pergi ni, kita tengok macam-macam bangsa dekat Mekah tu. Kan, bukan orang Melayu aja. Kan, kalau Islam tu je macam-macam bangsa. Kristian macam-macam bangsa semua. The world is made of so many wonderful, beautiful people. Mereka terlupa ke yang baik itu adalah hati, perbuatan. Yang jahat tu jugalah, yang benda jahat tu tak kira apa bangsa, kalau kita jahat, macam mana pun kita jahat. Sikap kita, hati kita yang busuk dan apa semua. So that's why kita tak boleh, because when you look at that, the whole world, kita pergi Australia, kita panggil kita apa, I'm Australian citizen, I'm British, dalam British macam-macam jenis. Kalau pergi London tu macam-macam jenis orang daripada UK, and boleh pula dia orang very proud, tak ada pula benda-benda, so kita kena fikirlah, we should be very proud of because we are so unique. Here we are living in Malaysia kan, macam-macam makan nak dapat, macam-macam races, ada bagai-bagai yang datang from just about the world. That's why kita panggil kita Malaysia to Asia kan, sampai the whole world look at us and really respect us. Satu ketika dulu, wow, you're from Malaysia, oh my god, what a fabulous country, people speak English, people are very friendly, Chef Wan, I love the food there, it's very clean and all that apa semua, orang duk puji Malaysia. To that's why, so that's why kadang-kadang we should be very proud. Takkanlah benda sikit-sikit macam ni nak bergaduh pasal religion, pasal ni, esok kita mati ni kan, esok gulung semua masuk ke lubang tu, sama juga jadi tanah. Engkau bakar ke, engkau reput dalam tanah ke, engkau tak kena rebus, nasib baik dah kata kan. Tak kena tanam dalam simen tu, nasib baik dah lah. But other than that, orang kata, we all go back to, orang kata that some dust jugalah, so that's why kita kena ingat, we live in one world, one humanity. Dalam Quran pun kita baca mengaji ni, Allah katakan dijadikan bintang, langit, bumi dan malam. Manusia macam-macam warna, macam-macam bangsa. Dia suruh kita berdagang, berniaga, suruh kita prosperous. Bila dah maju ni, Allah suruh kita kahwinkan macam-macam bangsa, kahwin lah. Kau tak kira lah Jerman nak kahwin ni, Melayu ke, Cina ke, French ke, kahwin lah. Kahwin, beranak lah, and kan. And then, this is what, Tuhan katakan, that's why Tuhan tu jadikan manusia tak kira apa bangsa, semua. Cina pun Tuhan jadi, Melayu pun Tuhan jadi, India pun Tuhan jadi, apa bangsa pun. Satu dunia ni macam-macam bangsa. So like why suddenly kita fikir, kita ni orang Melayu kat Malaysia ni, kita lagi terbaik lah, kita lagi best lah. Because why kita agama Islam, agama kita agama terbaik, agama. Tapi bila kita tanya dia pasal agama Kristian, haram apa tak tahu. Bila tanya dia pasal Hindu, haram apa tak tahu. Habis kalau kau tak tahu pasal religion orang semua, macam mana kau tahu kau punya lebih baik daripada orang? Sebab what we choose to believe is by the books. Apa yang kita belajar, kalau kita belajar pada Quran, kita dilatih Islam lah. Jadi sama juga kalau Kristian. So kita nak respect orang. Tapi kita nak orang respect kita, tapi kita pergi kutuk orang habis-habis. How people to respect? Respect is something that you earn first, to show that how we as good Muslim also open our hearts and doors to everyone. Kan? For what love is, for what friendship is, for what peace is to the world. And this is what, bukan menjahanamkan dunia dengan macam-macam benda. And when you spread hate destroy you, hate destroy the whole world. Tak nampak ke bila orang berperang, bila kita benci sama manusia, kita jahanamkan. Tak usah kata negara lain, sesama Islam pun kita jahanamkan. Sampai look at all those, negara-negara yang dah jahanam semua, kita tengok kadang-kadang, ya Allah, kesian dengan rakyat yang melarat, tak ada makan, tak ada apa. Kenapa? Kerana because they hate each other. They cannot stand each other. Walaupun mereka bangsa sendiri pun dia kerjakan. Dekat Afrika pun macam tu, dekat Middle East macam tu. So that's why as Malaysia ni kan, kita kena betul-betul sangat berterima kasih. Kenapa? Kerana hari ini negara mendapat kemerdekaan dari penjajah, hasil daripada apa? Daripada semua. Kan? Tak belajar sejarah ke? Orang tak pergi sekolah ke? Budak-budak kat luar tu kadang pelik. Rasa hantuk-hantuk kepala dia geram. Kan? Tak pergi sekolah. Tak belajar ke sejarah kan? Yang kisah apa Tunku Abdul Rahman dengan Tan Sri Sin Cina dengan apa Tun Bantan semua pergi India. Macam-macam parti MIC, UMNO, Chinese semua come together and sama-sama mendapat kemerdekaan. Bukan orang Melayu saya dapat kemerdekaan. Kan? So that's why, and this is what we build today. Kan kita belajar rukun negara, belajar pun. Lepas tu bila tu pergi universiti, yang the sad part kan, pergi belajar overseas macam nak mampu mak bapak hantar pergi sekolah, tapi otak letak macam bawah kepala lutut. Bodoh. Bodoh. Kan?
You make an absolute perfect point tadi. Orang kata kita Islam, whatever, then when you ask them pasal agama Hindu atau agama Kristian, they don't know anything. And you make a very logical point. Macam mana awak tahu apa yang awak percaya itu the best? Kalau awak
Wan baca Bible, saya baca buku Taoism, saya baca Judaism, kat rumah saya ada macam-macam buku saya baca, okay? Bukan saja Quran aja tau. Kan saya baca because I wanted to understand, Jewish, I wanted to understand. So that sambil baca tu semua religion. I tengok apa kata pasal Gautama Buddha, the whole series of Buddha, tu tengok dia punya teaching apa. And then I begin to realize every agama pun baik. Tak ada agama yang jahat. Semua mengajar manusia kan. Tinggal lagi orang kata bila kita pray to God tu kan, katakan some call Allah, some call Jesus, some call whatever lah you nak call kan. Masing-masing kan tu terpulang kepada hak masing-masing. So that's why agama Islam bukan something yang kita force people to go into. Dia kalau tak percaya, tak apalah. That's it. But janganlah nyanyikan orang. Janganlah kutuk orang. Janganlah pandang hina orang. Yang kita ni lebih baik daripada orang. Says who yang kita lebih baik. Sedangkan hati kita ni tak bersih, jiwa kita tak bersih, kita ni hasik bersangka buruk kat orang, mengata, mengumpat, all that. And this is a true teaching of Islam ke? Halo, baik jangan jadi Islam, jadi kafir pun tak apa. Macam baru ni yang kisah Sajat tu, anak sentuh kan, sampai dia nak I tengok, my God, they hunt her like a dog. Macam anjing, just because she's a so-called transvestite ke apa, I tak tahulah apa bawah seluar dia lah kan. Tapi but you know what, it's none of my business. But the thing that when I saw that and I say, Allah, the way the netizen mengutuk dia, mengejar dia dengan apa, sampai orang tu sampai dah tak sampai nak keluar pada agama Islam because dia tak percaya lagi Islam is a good religion for dia anymore, yang something yang boleh bawa dia ni, kenapa dalam keadaan and who cause all that? Kita. Because why? Because we discriminate them. It's a manner, and it's just awful. Saya tak kata lah orang Islam tak salah to be whatever they want to be lah kan. Kan yang ni kan nak jadi pengket ke, nak jadi gay ke, nak jadi apa ke, saya tak kata itu agama salah. Yalah salah. Kan tapi kau nak buat macam mana, nak pancung kepala dia ke? Kan? And you know how many people who are transvestite in this country or in the world? There's millions. Why narrow down to just dia saja? My question.
Okay, you know what?
There's one thing about this country, we did so many things that's terrible that sometimes hello, it's shameful, memalukan, it's totally embarrassment.
Oh wow, Chef, I'm so honored. I'm so happy. I'm always energized in your presence, and I can see that the viewers. Guys, if you're watching this, we are acknowledging you. I want to acknowledge Chef Wan. Keep on sharing this Facebook post. I just want to go back to one point, which I very much agree with you. Macam mana kita nak mengajar ataupun menggalakkan seseorang itu untuk appreciate, untuk respect, untuk know what Islam is when sekarang kalau kita, when I say kita, I'm lumping us all together here. Like we berlakon, we attack, like for example the no sajat thing. You're right, you're absolutely correct. Why spend so much energy hounding and chasing and vilifying and making the devil out of one person, one individual? There are bigger issues, huger issues, like for example, corruption. We don't hound, vilify and crucify those people who are corrupt. One particular person yang for whatever his or her reasons, whatever label of transgender or transvestite, like you, I also say, not my concern, not my problem.
It's not my business. Not
my business. Why so much energy? Oh, dia bersalah. Hey, tengok diri sendiri sebelum cakap orang lain bersalah. Diri anda bersalah tak on any level before. I mean, it is a Christian saying, those who have not sinned throw the first stone. Kalau anda tak bersalah, okay, cakaplah orang tu bersalah. Tapi kalau anda bersalah, jangan pandai-pandai nak cakap orang lain bersalah untuk whatever reason lah. Whatever. That's just my personal opinion, and I'm no expert. I'm just another individual, another human being. On that note, Chef, because I wanted to go back to something you were saying earlier on. I agree with you. There seems to be a lot of bravado, a lot of orang, misalnya lah, let's just say this lah, orang Melayu katakan, oh, Islam this, Islam that, but like you say, when you go overseas, when you go Hajj, you will see that there's Chinese Muslims, there's white Muslims, there's
everything.
Muslims. Then, do you know there's more Chinese Muslims, there's more Muslims Chinese than there are in Malaysia. Muslim Malaysia.
Yes.
Padahal our people, Melayu, many forget that Islam, Muslim too, is not Malay. They will agungkan Islam, which is good, nothing wrong with that. Tapi go and prosecute the Rohingyas for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure. But you know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute, if you mengagungkan a religion, then why don't you mengagungkan the followers of that religion for whatever reason? Mengagungkan Islam tapi not crucify the Rohingyas. Rohingyas not accepted. There was a case in March last year when there was at the mosque in I think in Johor, where it says Rohingyas not welcome into this mosque.
Yeah, I saw that. So disgusting. It's shocking.
I mean, this is just my personal opinion, and I do not claim to be an expert.
No, totally discrimination.
Islam. I'm not an expert. I just want to tell you, I am not an expert. I'm just talking about logic from my point of view lah. So, but anyway, thank you so much. Ada orang kata, wah, Chef Wan ni macam machine gun. But I tell you something, I love the sound of this machine gun. I love the sound of this machine gun. I want to ask you one question. This idea, because this came up on a recent posting of mine about the whole education system, where we have an allowance for Bumis to get more seats into certain education systems or certain universities, etc., etc. Now, I understand from my understanding, this came about from the economic planning back in the 70s when we were trying to mengangkat the hak or the abilities of the Melayu back in the 70s. But now we've carried on with this Malaysia plan where certain race, let's say Malays, get into university ahead of other races. Do you have any opinions on that? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Okay. On one end, when you think about it, yes, what the government trying to do was to help, mana yang orang kata anak-anak Melayu yang kurang cerdik, yang mungkin tak berpeluang untuk, masuk universiti, mungkin kurang, dari segi, kesusahan, mungkin juga, apa orang kata, family yang susah jadi tak dapat masuk, so mereka dibantulah, diberi priority untuk ni. But the thing with me, when I think about all that, don't you think that, education is something yang kata you have to really, kalau betul-betul bagus, okay, masuk bidang ni. Kalau tak bagus, bagilah peluang masuk bidang lain. They don't have to go into university. Dia orang boleh masuk benda-benda lain kan. Buat-buat benda lain. Boleh jadi tukang masak, boleh jadi mekanik, boleh jadi benda apa semua benda. So that's why for me, kota-kota benda macam ni juga yang selalu kadang-kadang mendatangkan rasa tidak puas hati kepada orang di luar sana, dari segi betul di Bumi Putra status lah, itulah ini yang hari ni kita tengok yang macam-macam jadi, yang of course yang menimbulkan juga salah satu daripada masalah juga. So bila terlampau banyak sangat pula kita kata diberi peluang pada anak-anak Melayu yang tak sepatutnya bertauliah pula masuk ke dalam yang kata universiti dan pula, ada kala juga mendatangkan juga berbagai-bagai masalah pun ada juga. And I'm sure all this from university mereka have done research and all that, they can tell you there's all kinds of problems that can crop up from all this, yang kadang-kadang juga macam contoh lah Wan bagi ni dalam bidang culinary saja I have met many orang kata deans and all that, apa semua daripada universiti ke daripada mana pun, yang kata-kata kadang-kadang dia orang terpaksa ambil budak-budak yang sebenarnya kadang-kadang dia orang tak nak masuk dalam bidang culinary, tapi mak bapak paksa mereka. Kenapa? Mereka tak ada cara lain lagi nak masuk. Kenapa nak masuk dalam bidang lain? Tak qualified. So the lowest one is going into the culinary, jadi chef. Kadang ada bakat pada mereka tak minat masak, tapi bila dah masuk pula akan macam-macam perangai. So when I dengar daripada all the hotel school, chef school from all apa semua, and that's why we are producing all this lousy orang kata candidate, and then in the end result yang menyusahkan adalah orang macam kita yang buka hotel, buka restoran, because we are flooded by so many kata anak-anak yang tak ada minat dalam bidang culinary ni, tak ada semangat, tak ada apa segala, and then they go in for the sake, and so dia orang macam sampah lah sampai dekat kita. And so we are supposed to take them, we're supposed to polish them and train them, with their terrible attitude, sikap and all that, and it becomes very very terrible. So that's why saya, the government needs to find, something, to help the people, in terms of how can we, kata empower, orang-orang yang mungkin tak nak belajar tinggi, tak nak masuk dalam bidang-bidang tertentu, perhaps they can go into something that they really like to do. Dia nak jadi petani ke, jadi apa ke.
You make a very good point, actually. You make a very good point. If I'm listening to you correctly, what you're saying is, because let's say I'm just using these numbers, I'm plucking them out of the air. So let's say out of 100%, we need to put misalnya 90% Malays, that you start pushing in people to fill up their quota of 90%. Yang mungkin nombor satu tidak sesuai untuk, obviously tak sesuai untuk that career, but also maybe not even want to be there. They do not want to go to further studies, but because they have to chase this dream of I need to go to university. But how they just want to, and we're very happy to be a petani or a mechanic and which is nothing wrong. It is absolutely crucial and important job. Labor manual, such that that we are now, who suffers at the end of the day is when all these graduates come out of university who have gone university system, land up in Chef Wan's lap during an interview when he is forced, inverted commas, to take graduates to put in all his different restaurants. You get people who you now need to train from the beginning because they didn't want to be there in the first place. or they
Mm.
didn't have the right attitude, or they didn't have the right mentality, or they, basically shouldn't be in front of you if they're getting a job lah, basically. So
Yeah.
I
So that's where the frustration is, the disappointment and all that. And the disappointment is not just kita saja tau, as majikan, but also disappointment also for them. Because you
yeah,
know why? They don't want to be there. So kenapa mak bapak paksa? Kenapa kan? So then dia orang main-main lah buat kerja. So that's why, when you look at all that, it's sad, to see, when they should be doing something else, kan? So that's why I think, benda-benda macam ni, we should, allow people who really are talented, people who are really qualified, tak kira apa bangsa lah, kalau mereka nak masuk bidang ni, masuklah. Kenapa? This is what they want to do, but yang mana tak minat tu, ini peluang dia lain yang ada. So they need to look at all these options. What can we do to help these kids so that dia orang tak buang masa ke benda yang bukan-bukan, kan? Worse, kalau dah tak boleh juga jadi penyangak, then buatlah satu sekolah untuk penyangak. Kat Nigeria ada tu yang penyangak tu, dia buka. Jadi dah tentu Malaysia jadi famous pula. Kenapa? Menipu pula. The number one. So dia kan. Macam-macam. So aduh, tak tahulah budak-budak ni kadang mak bapak kesian, bagi sekolah anak hantam, and then they all go in, and then they but definitely our education system, kita need to really look back lah untuk benda yang ni. Even for example lah, macam dalam bidang chef, macam tengokkan diorang belajar banyak sangat all this, curriculum western and all that. In the end kan ramai juga balik yang tak banyak kata knowledge on Malaysian cuisine, tak tahu apa semua, because they learn so much on education, on French, on whatever, and then bila suddenly keluar, like 60% of them end up in Malay dapur, Chinese dapur ke, Indian dapur ke, or hotel or Asian dapur, and they are not educated at that level dalam bidang ni. Yeah, you'll be so shocked, to see. So they really need to revamp and start like an academy for Asian culinary study ke apa benda, so that we can focus membaikikan tahap makanan Asia, not just Malaysia lah for that matter, so that we can really produce good quality Asian food, so that our chefs also coming from all this school of graduate from Asian school yang di Malaysia ni can also work elsewhere as an Asian chef and be proud, and I don't understand why we always have to be proud to be French chef, nak jadi Gordon Ramsay, nak jadi Jamie Oliver. Tak boleh jadi Chef Wan ke? Tak boleh jadi chef ni ke? Tak boleh jadi chef 2 ke? Tak boleh jadi chef 3 ke? Kan, be proud of us being who we are, kan? Chef Michael ke? Chef Ramalingam ke, kan? So the thing is, we need that, because why we think because of all this, focus is so much face on curriculum, on western ni apa semua, sampai kita budak-budak bila keluar suddenly kan nak buat sambal tumis pun tak reti, nak buat asam pedas pun tak reti, because mereka tak diajar dengan betul, kan? Benda-benda tu apa, pada sedangkan benda ni yang rakyat Malaysia makan hari-hari, kan? Dekat restoran, dekat mana, dekat cafe, that apa semua, kan? Everywhere we eat a lot of Malaysian food, so that food needs to be, orang kata, taught properly, quality wise, that, so that orang boleh menjaga makanan ni dengan baik. That's why kita tengok pasar-pasar malam flooded with such lousy food. Because why? Because tak ada orang yang really went in to teach people how to do things properly, macam mana nak menjaga, to start, orang kata, macam one time they were making thing about Penang, konon lingkuan egg apa yang kata, all this Bangladesh, Myanmar, that tak boleh masak makanan Penang, that, so they deprive dia orang daripada doing all that. And then of course I totally disagree with that, because for me, any people yang sanggup nak belajar masakan Malaysia, belajarlah. How can you stop education? How can you stop educating people from learning how to cook your food, kan? So maybe tomorrow they can cook your food, they can spread the cuisine elsewhere around the world when they want to work. Because I went to Dubai one year at the Sheraton, and I saw, wow, makanan rendang ada, and I tanya lah siapa yang buat. Dia punya budak Bangladesh kerja dekat mana tau, dekat what do you call that, Genting Highland. Oh, bos, saya big fan. 3-4 orang keluar, semua satu Pakistan, 3 India, and Bangladesh. I kata, wah, you did all this, Malaysian satay, Malaysian, yes, we do this, because why, we were there 4 tahun saya di Genting. Dia kata, saya belajar ini, sekarang saya masak. And I was so proud. It's not even cooked by a Malaysian. Kan, and they did well, sedap lah tu. And imagine, and this is the kind of thing yang suddenly kita tak bagi. Konon bangsa asing menjahannamkan makanan kita. Alo, kau ajarlah, kan? Kalau tak betul, ajarlah. Yeah.
Because
If Malaysian go to Japan, how can the Japanese chef say, no, I'm not taking you because you're not Japanese enough, or you're not French because you are Malaysian, no, we cannot teach you French. Tapi macam suddenly kat Malaysia boleh. Kau tak boleh masak makanan Penang. Because why? Because kau bangsa asing. Ah, ada ke macam tu punya PA dekat kita? So saya kadang-kadang aku fikir certain thing yang kita buat ni so ridiculous, And lepas tu, pada I kalau makanan kita tak elok, then you go and buka a bloody institute on street food. Just focus on street food. So that's where the academy, can teach the best street food. Put all the best recipe of all the best tukang masak of street food inside there. Document them, SOP them, keep them, and use this for the future generation. So you have an institute on street food of Malaysia. Buka. And duit daripada kerajaan membazir berjuta-juta, pergi orang kata billions, wasted, pergi buat yang bukan-bukan tu semua, yang rugi, yang apa semua, dah tentu kita tahu kita ada sekolah yang orang kata dedicate to makanan, Malaysia, kan? And proud. Because why? We are training our own people. Kita melatihkan kita, orang kita, bangsa kita, merakyat Malaysia kita, skill kita, dan akhirnya benda yang baik ni juga akan datang kepada mana? Kepada rakyat Malaysia juga yang akan makan rendang sedap, yang akan makan cak kuih tiaw sedap, laksa kari sedap, laksa asam sedap, and not just a piece of garbage that was served out there. Because why? Because they were not taught. They were not taught how to cook properly street food. Kan? So that's why kalau kita kata makanan orang jahanam ke makan seafood now, the quality drop, So what are you doing about it? What the government is doing? What is Ministry of Tourism doing? What the ministry? I don't know which minister is handling this, Because Malaysia, you have to understand, food is such a big thing. I feel, we should even have a ministry on just jaga makanan. Jaga makanan saja. Jaga makanan warisan, quality makanan, this semua. Jaga kebersihan, jaga everything to do with food, where to get them, the source them, barang-barang, quality all. Ministry of Food. Habis cerita. Kan? Padahal benda ni kita makan hari-hari.
But the danger with that is that suddenly you put these restrictions ataupun to jaga the food, you put it in the hands of the ministry. There's not to say that's going to be the best move possible.
Yeah.
So, but
I agree with food people, foodies should be in the ministry. People who love food, people who have experience dalam bidang pemakanan ni, they are the ones should handle, so that kita tahu pasar-pasar kita, makanan kita dijaga dengan baik, dengan mutu yang bagus, quality, tak dicemar dengan segala benda-benda yang bukan-bukan. All this kind of thing we need to take care. Kan? So that daripada mula asas tanaman, pertanian, siapa semua, sampailah benda tu sampai ke pasar raya, ke kedai, ke pasar, dan benda ni diorang tengok. Ministry. So benda ni, and put all under one ministry, so that jaga, including jaga street food, kebersihan, quality, sanitation, hygiene, benda apa semua. Bukan bersepah sana, bersepah sini. Jaga makanan warisan, heritage, macam-macam bangsa apa semua. Kita startkan institute ni, institute tu apa semua. We have so many talented people up there. Bukan orang tak nak, tapi somebody got to do it. Kan? Ini duit habis berjuta-juta semua, corruption, dia orang mencekik anak beranak, kaya 7 keturunan. Tapi yang susah esok kita juga, rakyat kita, susah cucu-cucu kita, anak-anak kita yang padahal benda macam ni you can do, boleh buat, kenapa tak buat? Kan? Kita boleh tengok modul ni kan, banyak other countries are doing juga. Tengok macam macam Denmark, Sweden, all that. I sometimes don't understand pegawai-pegawai kerajaan Malaysia ni yang selalu asyik belanja duit rakyat ni, pergi overseas, pergi all this meeting, pergi all this shit thing. Like, what do they learn? What do they contribute to come back to this country, to give back to this country? Itu yang I nak tahu selama ni. We always fall back to this bloody square one, but nothing works.
I feel you, Chef Wan. I feel you 100%. And I just want to hug back. Please, my Christian, Chef Wan been talking for about an hour, machine gun style. Biar di minum air sekejap. Chef Wan, while you're drinking, I just want to hug back.
I want to send my love to Kak Aziza Ali from Singapore. She's one of the Singapore best. She's the Malay best cook tu. Daripada Aziza Restaurant. Kak Aziza, apa khabar?
Itu dia.
Aziza Ali, from Restaurant Aziza dulu.
From Singapore. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing this Facebook post. If you haven't shared it, it would be my absolute pleasure and honor if you could share. I want everyone to hear the wise words of our amazing Chef Wan. Specifically, Chef, awak cakap tadi that you went to Dubai and you tasted some great Malaysian food, and you were greeted by Bangladeshi and some Pakistanis who had been working in Genting and all, and actually that is The amazing thing about the immigrants who come to this country, I would call them modern immigrants, datang sini 1, 2, 3 tahun, dah boleh cakap bahasa Malaysia, dah boleh belajar masakan Malaysia, how they integrate themselves and how they pick up, how they learn and how they absorb,
Hmm.
basically, which are good traits. The language, the food. Padahal sometimes, like you know as well as I do, when you run a business and you run a kitchen and you run a restaurant, nak cari good local people to work, as your staff. Local people mesti ada karena sendiri. Mesti ada, oh macam ni makcik saya tinggal jauh, makcik saya meninggal, blah 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 blah. Because the salary is not as attractive when you start out at the beginning. And but padahal sometimes, when it comes to the foreigners, they are here in the country for one reason. They are here to work. So they're like, I got a job. I'm going to work. I'm going to come. I'm going to work. I don't care, 8 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours, until whatever time, because
Yeah.
the idea is I need to make a living.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, I mean, you know as well as I do, when you run a business, sometimes I'm not saying locals are bad, foreigners are good. What I'm saying is it's about the intention. It's about
But you know
the
what,
reason.
Arif, let me tell you something, okay? What I'm trying to tell everyone tonight, this is nothing but the truth. You can ask so many people out there who's running a restaurant, hospitality industry, by apa pun, time and again. And the same thing kita dengar that this country is flooded with so many anak-anak, especially, dalam bidang kita ni, anak-anak Melayu kita ni yang bukan saja malas, tapi, tak berdisiplin, berpolitik and all that, when they're supposed to be working, doing the job, dedicated to their work and all that. And it's just amazing. So that's why, yang tak dengar cakap and all that. So that's why in my restaurant, kita punya turnover amat tinggi. Kita keep, firing people, we keep getting people, we keep training people and all that, because not only we're busy, but they must follow the SOP menu and all that, apa semua ikut, so that everything is systematic. And that's why we can be successful, because why, to better quality control and consistency and all that. Because why? Because we put our foot down, and we train people to do the way we want it. And that's how it is. Kalau tak betul, nak pandai-pandai ikut sendiri, you are fired. Just like I fired, a couple of my chef before. I said, just leave. I said, sebelum aku masuk rebus kau dalam rendang tu, you better just, walk out. So that's why, I can be the nicest person. You can tanya budak-budak, tanya my chef. Kadang-kadang I tak masuk campur sangat benda apa. I leave them to work and all that. But don't test my patience by not, dedicating, your job, by working hard and by, putting effort and by doing it right, because we have all that SOP. So that's why, because I want to train more young Malaysian, supaya mereka juga akan berjaya, because besok mereka akan buka restoran, mereka juga akan jadi macam saya dan akan jadi macam orang lain juga and all that. So berkembang. So kalau mereka pada awal, from the very beginning, they did not, orang kata, have all this basic, experience, basic training and all that, then how are they going to progress in the future, in terms of diorang punya kejaya, so that's why it's very important, to make it very clear to them.
Okay, I want to broach this question because I'm watching the comments as well. Ramai orang yang kata, oh, Chef Wan should run for Minister of Makanan, or Chef and Harith should run for politics. But I don't know about you, Chef, but the passion that I feel in you almost tak sesuai lah untuk. Would you become a politician? Let me ask you this question straight up.
No, never. I can do something like what I'm doing right now, even representing the country, doing, it's still the same. It's still good, for example, I can, like I'm now also an advisor to University Utara, kan? One pun adjunct professor to university and all that. So I'm also, as an adjunct professor, I also, sometimes, give them advice and conduct, various talk and all that for university and all that. And, I still can contribute, in many ways. I don't have to be a politician, because politician is susah, because, politician, you always have to, orang kata, bertegang leher, kan? Kita kalau orang baik-baik ni kan susah nak survive lah, because why, kita tak reti nak menipu semuanya, jalan lurus semua. Besok macam-macam diorang buat kat kita pula, jangan esok I tengok ada pula video I telanjang pula tengah buat benda lain pula dengan orang lain pula, akan keluar pula, kan. Macam you don't know this country, I mean anything is possible. Tengok aku tengah kacau rendang, tengok tengah menonggeng pula kau tengah buat kerja. Tengah kacau rendang. Mampus, So in this country, you cannot say benda ni tak boleh jadi, anything possible. Bromen kat bilik tu pun dia orang pasang kamera. Tak tahulah,
Sorry. Okay. Guy, Chef, I tell you, the amazing thing about spending time with you, about talking to you, I am so glad that I know you've made a lot of new fans tonight from the
Yeah.
followers. People have been absolutely enthralled by you, amazed by you. But this is you. You speak, as far as I know, you speak your heart. You speak the truth. You speak what is true to you, and you tak pernah mungkin ada filter sikit, but you say what you say because we're not young, right? We like apa lagi kita nak? What are we gonna lose out?
You know why? Kita ni, we have come to a level where orang kata been there, have done it lah, kan? And with all our life experiences and what the journey that we have to go through and apa kita nampak, takkan benda yang betul kita nak kata tak betul, kan? Because any basic common sense, yang kita guna kepala otak ni, kita akan tahu antara buruk dengan baik, kan? Kalau tidak, tu salah jadi manusia, kan? And lagi satu, saya tak suka jadi manusia yang talam dua muka, kaki bodek, dalam industri, dalam orang kata dunia inilah, in Malaysia ni kan banyak benda-benda macam ni jadi, orang makan rasuah, kaki bodek, kaki mengampu, it's incredible, people yang talam dua muka, yang mengutuk, yang mengata. So when you see all that, is people spend so much time on all that, and just awful. So that's why benda macam ni yang susah kadang-kadang nak mengubahkan masyarakat kita untuk ke arah benda yang positif, because every time yang kita pandang adalah pandang benda tak betul. So that's why I think it's very important, kita ni kadang-kadang nak kena fikir balik apa kita cakap, kena ada sifat lebih timbang rasa, sifat kindness. We need to have more kindness, because kindness kills everything. When you're kind to people, you smile and you swallow a lot and be forgiving. Saya orang kutuk saya macam-macam pun saya maafkan, tak apalah, katalah apa nak kata, saya maafkan lah, because bila saya tengok mak saya ni dah 90, dah went to dementia, Alzheimer, at a certain point everything yang dia ada kat kepala pun dia lupa. So that's why I always tell people, why kita nak harbor hate, hatred, vengeance atas orang, all that, because in the end we're going to forget benda, tapi kita tak akan lupa kalau kita buat benda yang baik, benda yang bagus ke atas orang, kita buat banyak kerja-kerja amal, kebajikan, bantu orang dalam macam-macam bidang, all that, and I think the country can progress to be very, and for the love of people, so that's why, kita nak, orang to learn, to understand more of other people culture, spend more time dengan dia orang, kawan-kawan. I have many friends from all over the world, kan? Even Yahudi, Jewish pun ada ramai, pun all over the world, kan? Takkan apa yang jadi dekat Zionist apa tu sama dengan also Jewish ada around the world, tak? Mereka juga tak setuju, So that's why kita tak boleh golongkan orang kata the Jewish, as Jewish, as bad people, because they're not all of them are bad, kan? So that's why this is something yang kita kena selesai. Kadang-kadang memang inherent to is bliss lah, but then it takes some time for people to have maturity, to have wisdom, for them to finally realize, at the end of the day, it's not worth all this, bergaduh, dah cukup kita bergaduh dekat rumah dengan adik-beradik, cukup lah, kat luar tu tak usah lah, belajar, learn to love each other, learn sometimes also to look at our own weaknesses as well, kan, and all that, and try to to do something better untuk diri kita, to improve, talent, bakat yang ada apa semua, kan, perlu diasah, tak ada knowledge ini kita pergi cari, ilmu. That's very important.
Chef, before we go, how's your mom doing?
She's fine. Mom is, her cancer has gone, her tumor, thank God, has really kecil to the point that the doctor have to decide next week whether to do a minor surgery to pull it out, whatever that's left from the tumor from the breast, and initially from that stage 3, so it's gone down really neat. So we will find out through her, what do you call that, ultrasound nanti next week. Her dementia progression is going down, of course, as I see is going down all the time. But other than that, she's been such still a wonderful person, really a sweetheart, very easy to jaga lah, tak susah, benda. Tapi kadang-kadang dia degil nak mandi kadang tu. Tu dia. But other than that, my mom is a jewel, to have, yeah, to jaga. So I feel so blessed to be able to jaga mak, yeah.
I think what hits me most is that, especially as you were wrapping up just now, you were talking about you are in the presence of your mother, who's in case orang tak tahu, going through dementia and all, that you realize then no matter what your feelings are during your lifetime, hate or love or benci or whatever, when it comes to the end of things, in your mom's case, people forget apa
Yeah.
maksudnya, apa gunanya kita bergaduh our whole life when the last few years of life we don't even remember what we
Yeah.
had for breakfast,
Betul?
or
Yeah. So
we
that's
remember.
why, macam kata lah, in the end kita, came to this world, orang kata naked, kita habis pun naked juga. No matter harta banyak ke, pangkat tinggi ke, kekayaan yang kita tipu sana tipu sini pun in the end tak boleh bawa juga, tak boleh bawa. Tapi yang kita nak bawa adalah ingatan kita yang baik-baik, I like to live this world that I put a smile, on so many faces, by helping people, family, relative, my own parents and people that I could reach out and all that. And I like that, I like that, and I don't want to live, worrying that, that just because I need to show people I have extra car ke, rumah besar ke, benda apa. Tengok macam orang buat rumah pun, it takes years, 7 years nak siapkan tu, 2 years nak siapkan dapur, tak ada duit pun simpan. Bila ada duit tu baru buat, so I'm not embarrassed also to people that one time, I had to sell my car and I Grab for 1 year, naik Uber for 1 year, because why? Because I could not afford, there was so much, money that I need to spend for the house that I cannot afford, to on all the luxury cars. So I sold my car, and then I just naik for almost a year. So people were shocked, like, how come, kan? And for me, a car just take point A to point B, how I get there is immaterial, kan? Dah sampai, as long as I tak curi duit orang, tak tipu, I tak menyusahkan diri I sendiri, berhutang, that, and that's fine, So that's why I think in life, be humble, be kind, have a lot of gratitude, terima kasih yang kita ni, hidup ni, orang kata, masih sihat tubuh badan, ada rezeki Allah bagi, ada kerja, ada family, ada anak-anak, keluarga, happy family and all that, and try to do, the best that we can, tanggungjawab bapak sebagai bapak, tanggungjawab mak sebagai mak, so everybody playing their role, anak pun, kawan-kawan kita kena sayang, tak kira apa bangsa pun, kadang-kadang kita tak tahu orang tu juga yang bangsa yang kita kutuk-kutuk ni juga yang akan menyelamatkan esok nyawa anak kita, ya. Tak kita sakit pening esok pun, dia jugalah yang dapat selamatkan kita, anak kita jugalah orang yang kita kutuk-kutuk ni, yang sekolah, yang ajar anak kita disiplin, nasihat anak kita, yang anak kita menjadi manusia yang berjaya, yang kita menjadi proud yang anak kita ni boleh pergi universiti, jadi doktor, jadi lawyer. Kenapa lecture cikgu Cina, India ni jugalah, ataupun Melayu ke apa, cikgu India, mereka jugalah yang menjadi, orang kata, bapa dan ibu nombor 2 pada anak-anak kita sehingga anak kita berjaya. So fikirlah, we are so lucky dalam hidup ni, kita ada manusia berbagai bangsa yang so talented, berbakat, pengalaman, so masing-masing ada bahagian masing-masing, and that kita kena respect, bangsa-bangsa asing, tak boleh kita ikut, bila orang terjun dalam longkang, kita pun nak terjun dalam longkang ke, nak burukkan orang, kan? Sikit saja silap orang kita cari, orang tak ni kita banyak. That's why generasi sekarang terrible bila kita tengok, kan, daripada ini sikit saja, macam baru ni pasal si Wawa tadi tengok, ya Allah, punya banyaknya orang kutuk pasal punggung dia besar, pasal tetek dia besar, pasal, ya Allah, all this body shaming yang kata, ya Allah, the whole idea is nak cakap janganlah kita kasar dengan polis, no that. Suddenly komen dia punya banyaknya orang lebih kepada benda-benda apa, how she looks and all that. And so when I saw that, I said, Allah, sampai saya sendiri pun bila dah letak gambar, saya macam like menyesal lah, I gave a platform, for people to put her down sampai to that level. But that's it. But we are all learning. I'm learning. I make mistake. All of us make mistakes, so we learn.
I think on that note, if I may reiterate, what I'm very it warms my heart to see so many people have been commenting, wishing your mom well, wishing yourself well. At the end of the day, like, no matter how angry we are or how frustrated we are, at the end of the day, we are all, like you say, lah, we come into the world naked, and we return
Mm,
naked.
yeah.
We come in without
Tapi,
possessions, and we leave without possessions.
yeah, but have courage. Have courage to speak nothing but the truth. There always one truth, but there's so many lies, so many people deceive ni, putar belik, not that. There's so many. Yeah, but the truth is always the truth. Ya, takkan hitam jadi putih, jadi putih. So kita as rakyat Malaysia kena berani bersuara, kena berani bercakap. Itu hak kita. Itu hak kita. Nobody can take that. Ya, that freedom from us to speak kalau benda tak betul. Remember that.
We
Hidup
will
kena ada prinsip. Hidup kena ada prinsip.
Thank you, Chef Wan. Hidup kena ada prinsip. Speak the truth. I would like to wrap it up right now. And first of all, I want to say thank you so much to my very special guest, Chef Wan. I know that everyone who has been following and commenting and listening have learned so much. I know they've been inspired. I know you have inspired me. Once again, every time I speak to you, you seem to inspire me, and it's been my absolute pleasure. My takeaway from all of this is that you are passionate about doing good, about being kind, about being thoughtful, and ramai orang kata ala chef tu melete banyak or dia cakap banyak. But at the end of the day, what you're speaking is from your heart, and you mean it. You mean no ill intent, except for those people who are acting in an idiotic way. Screw them, so to speak. But you have always been a good person to me, chef, and I respect and honor you for that. Uh, your restaurant, of course, is closed at the moment. And guys, if you don't know, I don't know why you don't know, Chef has a restaurant in the link in off Jalan Ampang and Jalan Tunraz. I think Chef it's closed at the moment. But you have deliveries, right?
Yes, we have home delivery.
You have the home deliveries.
Yeah.
Guys, this is the age of the internet. Please Google, please search, and to me, Chef Wan, you are a living Malaysian legend. And orang kata ala, tapi dia kaya, dia besar. Regardless of that, you support so many people. You behind the scenes, I know you do a lot of work that you don't talk about, and you support your staff. And yes, you're hard on your staff, but you're also fair and kind of them. Kalau bekerja kuat, kalau nak belajar, you'll climb up the ladder just like anybody else. And I truly know that you are that type of person. With that, I want to say thank you very much. Is there any last word? Now, I know when I say to you, is there last word? The last word could last about 45 minutes. Is there anything you would like to leave? Before you leave, would you like to say something?
Yeah. I just want to say really a very big thank you to all of you out there who's watching, who's taking time, to spend such a long time at this late hour night, to listen to me and Harith. And of course, I'm very ever grateful for that. And of course, to you also, Harith, for giving me this platform to speak from my heart. And saya harap jugalah, ramai di luar sana yang dengar, jangan ambil hati. Saya pun kadang-kadang cerita pun macam seorang bapa, macam seorang cikgu juga, yang kata dah banyak makan garam dan melalui macam-macam pengalaman hidup saya. And apabila saya buka mulut bercerita, saya buat dengan hati yang jujur dan ikhlas, dan saya ingatkan untuk benda yang baik-baik saja untuk rakyat Malaysia, negara saya yang saya cintai, dan juga rakyat Malaysia, bagai-bagai bangsa negara ini yang juga saya cintai, yang saya sayangi mereka, kerana tanpa mereka di manalah saya hari ini, ya. So that's why this something that I must speak, that and all the years yang saya berada di mana saya berada adalah kerana anda jugalah yang memberi saya inspirasi to move forward, kerana saya fikir tak ramai orang yang tinggi pengalaman dan bakat yang ada seperti saya, maka saya maju ke depan, ya. And the same thing I want juga for the youth generation, always remember, do nothing but the best, ya. In the quest of excellence, it takes more than just a talent to cook where I come from, macam-macam bakat yang ada, tapi kita ni jangan malu untuk belajar, kalau malu sesat jalan, hati kita kena sentiasa kita buka, and remember, always have that kindness, kindness comes compassion, compassion comes empathy, ada gratitude, all that, and love, because love is everywhere, remember. So today apa yang saya ada, I'm sharing with the whole world of what the world has given to me in that percent, and thank you so much and have a great evening, and insyaAllah, we hope we will go through this pandemic dengan ni baik, dan jangan lupa kita masih lagi jaga SOP walaupun dah vaccinate, and kita jaga diri kita jaga keluarga kita, dan juga jaga orang ramai, and thank you so much. Selamat malam.
Selamat malam. Absolutely. My
love you all.
Assalamualaikum. Waalaikumsalam. Please send my regards to your family, your mom, your daughter. She's well. You're okay with your daughter?
Yes.
Good. Dah.
Okay. Macam tu juga lah. Itu ni ada segmen nanti.
Okay, Chef. Thank you so much. I'm going to remove you from this room. Guys, say thank you to Chef Wan in the comments, and thank you for sharing. Terima kasih. You've been a wonderful guest.
And I did all the comment. Alright, bye.
Goodbye. Guys, everyone, thank you so much for being with us. 1 hour and 25 minutes. Please, before you leave, share the Facebook. Sorry, I'm just talking to my my guy off screen at the moment. Go back to background and take off background. Okay, you know what?